Hello everyone and welcome to a very fun and a little bit of a different video today. We're going back to some old school Brandon F. Rage content, talking about every little historical accuracy that I can see on what is more or less a blind watch through of that horrible Waterloo scene from the new Napoleon film. I had seen like little bits and pieces because I did like a screen cap for the video about trenches, but a lot of this content is all new to me, and you're going to experience it right alongside me. One little note I want to point out here, the audio quality not up to the usual standard. Unfortunately, I had the microphone a little bit closer to me than I usually do, and I didn't realize how much screaming would be involved in this naive of me, I suppose. I should have known. But otherwise, I had a lot of fun recording this one. I'm sure you'll all have a lot of fun watching it. We'll get right into the meat of the content right after a brief word on behalf of the video's sponsor. Which, if you're a student or an author, an academic or business person of any kind, even if you just have a lot of random ideas throughout the day, it should prove quite helpful to you. Now, you might actually notice that I've got it right here. Maybe not because I'm wearing a black shirt and it's like a dark gray thing, but this little guy is called the PLAUD Note Pin. It's an automatic transcriber and a note taker that'll save you hundreds of hours, whether you're sitting in a seminar or attending a lecture, chatting with a client, or just, spitballing ideas to yourself. PLAUD will capture whatever audio you need, up to 20 hours worth, and offer you a full transcription and then summary of what was said without the need for manual note-taking. Not only that, but it can then convert that audio into key metrics and topics that were discussed, and even build to-do lists out of all of that material, helping you to retain the big picture without having anything slip from your day. In the case of conversations, for example, once you label a voice within the PLAUD app, it will even recognize those voices and label speakers according to their voice print, as it were, helping to ensure clean transcription that's very easy to read through, and you don't have to spend hours parsing through it all and assigning, voices and changing minutes and whatnot, right? And then compared with, using your phone for the same purpose, you don't have to worry about running out of battery or storage or being interrupted by a phone call, obviously. It can easily be worn with, a clip like I was just before. It can be put onto a wristband or a lanyard. They even have this wonderful magnetic pin, so you put that behind your shirt and then you just clip it right on like that. PLAUD also keeps all of your data safe with end-to-end encryption, meeting both EU and US privacy and security standards like the SOC2, GDPR, HIPAA, and EN 18031, which includes using it also for the special Ask PLAUD, which is similar to ChatGPT, where it can learn from your message history and better understand your specific needs in using the device. So if you want to use it for helping to draft emails, it can pull data from a meeting for reports. You can help to delegate tasks to team members. Again, making minutes for any sort of like a board meeting, things like that. So if any of this piques your interest and you'd like to learn more about how this little guy, PLAUD, can save you both time and boost your productivity, then be sure to follow the link in the description down below. Use my code BrandonF for a special discount. Thank you so much to PLAUD for sponsoring this video. Let us begin. Okay, so right off the bat, we have, all right, the artillery is going to start opening fire. How are they going to have the artillery start opening fire? You have one of the, I don't know which one it is, but one of the, staff officers, one of the field marshals, one of Napoleon's high-up officers, right, standing right behind him, and so presumably Napoleon tells him, hey, have the artillery begin to open fire. He doesn't offer an order to an aide. They don't ride off to where the artillery is and say, yes, Emperor's orders are to commence firing on this position, blah, blah, blah. They're just going to shout out really loudly, fire! And then the artillerymen are, okay, guys, now we're going to get started. And based on the other scenes that I've seen, this is going to be a real problem in how they do things, is complete lack of understanding of how scale operates. Because if you were to shout out fire, now some of the artillerymen will hear you, but there's probably going to be guys way across the field that you can't just shout to them, okay? This isn't like a medieval battle with like 3,000 guys. There's like, how many people? There were 70,000 men in the French army and about 250 guns, even more, in fact, on the Allied side of things. Yeah, you're not just gonna shout that order. There's a reason why officers on horseback exist. Okay, we've been about 5 seconds in. We have to keep on going. Okay, the artillery goes off. Oh, and there we have the trench lines. Oh, we'll come to that later. All right, here we go. So this is a part that I've already seen. This is something I knew I was going to be talking about. Look at the number of flags they have there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I'm counting, sets of colors so far. Only ever King's colors. There are no regimental colors here. They're not even actually King's colors. They're just standard British flags. I have numerous videos all about flags and their usage in 18th century, early 19th century warfare. Long story short, you should have two flags, two colors, the King's colors and the regimental colors that look very different from this, for every battalion of infantry on a field, aka every like couple hundred guys. This is like what? I don't know, maybe like 50 people on the camera altogether. Also, the artillery like directly behind the infantry. They're laying in earthworks, which is really stupid. And there's, yeah, like what was it, 8 flags? Oh, maybe there's a 9th one even there, poking out the side there. Like, that's crazy. Why do we need all of them? How many men are we dedicating to these things? It's crazy. All right, so that one, hold on, that artillery, that cannonball just sort of went, let's see here, flies in, skips over that guy entirely, skips over him, it plants itself back here, it sends up a lot of dirt for that. What hit you? What hit you? What's going on over here? How are any of these guys, it just hit the dirt, like these guys in the back, sure, whatever, but like these guys, nothing hit them. What hit you? Where are you going, bud? What are you doing? It's like, keep in mind, these are not explosive shots. These are solid cast iron, I don't know if they're cast iron balls, right? It just, boom, lands right there next to you, and a guy just decides, oh, look at that. Whoa, and then he flies off. What are we doing here? What? Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's like every 5 men have a flag. It's like, are we gonna forget what side we're on if we don't have every like 5th guy carrying a flag? Oh wait, right. King George, got it. Okay, I hit the space bar there on accident. Let me rewind a little bit so we can fully understand the. Okay. So we have these like random entrenched positions with little itty bitty roads in between, which. Why do we have these like sally points that are so thin? Nothing's going to be able to move in between them. You need to have a space wide enough for the cavalry to move through, like at least in a column of like a couple of horses wide. But this is like maybe 2 horses can reliably pass through there unimpeded. So there's no flexibility for the cavalry to be able to actually move through. We have these random isolated stakes sort of pointing out of the ground as if that's going to be sufficient to stop a cavalry charge. We have it like the infantry is right up there. Then we skip back like a couple of feet, a couple yards. Then we have the artillery positioned, likewise in these just useless like 2-foot-high berms that isn't really going to protect against anything, especially not against the artillery that can like teleport its damage. It's like an AoE effect type weapon, apparently. And then a couple yards behind them, we have, it looks like there's like heavy cavalry right there. There's a bunch of cavalry over here, right in front of the guys. It's like we're taking an entire army and we're just smushing it all in. It's like, look, I understand if you're not going to be like that 1970 Waterloo film and have like 10,000 extras or whatever, but I mean, CG exists. Like, Lord of the Rings was able to get a really good sense of scale with a couple of extras and, computer effects. What is this meant to be like? Is this meant to be like the main portion of the British Army? Also, it looks like we have one set of regimental colors right there, the little yellow flag. Look at all the flags! 1, 2, 3, 14, 15, 16, what is this? Where are all these battalions meant to be positioned? Why are they going so far back? Why is the army positioned directly in front of its encampment? There's so many questions here about this scene. What's going on? A couple of the cannon there weren't even being met. Hold on. Why? There's like no, that's just like random British guns that are just, they're just kind of vibing there. Just kind of hanging out. We put them there to look good. Are we not gonna, clearly you're in artillery range. Are the British not gonna fire back? We're just gonna hang out? Okay, alright. So once again we so once again, so many flags, as if these guys don't remember what side they're fighting on. And once again, we have a French officer just shouting out, infantry! It's like, hello? There's 70,000 guys! Like, who? What infantry is advancing? Is it going to be the light infantry? Or do you have, some Polish auxiliaries over there you want to have go forward? Are you trying to get, Marshal Ney to do a general advance? Like, what regiments, what battalions, what divisions, who's doing what, where? You can't just be like, go get them, guys! Yeah, like it's a football match or something. What is it? And then, of course, yeah, one said, so let's just say that he's, over here. He shouts out, advance! Meanwhile, artillery is firing all down the line. So, okay, maybe if he's able to get it out there right in between, the perfect in between all the artillery firing, maybe these guys can hear. Those guys over there? Those guys way over there? It's 70, it doesn't make any level of sense. It's like that Battle of Philippi scene in HBO's Rome where you have the two officers yell, advance, and then the shields start going forward and everything. Like, yeah, it's dramatic, but as soon as you think about it for about a second, it's like, that, huh? That doesn't, okay. Anyways, the whole French army is charging forward. I guess who cares about lines? Who cares about keeping step? Those are some very thin. So they're in open order and with a massive interval between each of those ranks. I guess we could say these guys are skirmishers, but they're not in a skirmish order either. They're advancing in just really open lines. Once again, do computer effects not exist to tighten these boys up a little bit, make them look like an actual formation of troops? They're really loosely packed there. So when they come across the enemy, they're not going to have the subsequent, the requisite, the necessary firepower and, oomph to actually push through the line. This is a disaster written all over the place. There's one guy sort of left behind there. Hold on, let me go back there. Look, this guy wait for me. We're all climbing out of a trench for some ungodly reason, so we're not in formation already. Okay, yeah. Bunch of flags. We got Wellington looking over. Oh, and they meet the two head honchos staring at each other across the field. Ooh, how very dramatic. Wait, second wave? What is this? Where did these guys even come from? That trench line, still feels weird to say. When you shouted infantry advance, they started going, so I guess these guys were waiting behind. They just decided to advance. The artillery has just stopped firing, by the by, so, to hell with counter battery fire, I guess. We're just gonna let them do what they want. Although the British aren't firing their artillery either. This is all very, very peaceable. They're being very polite, taking turns. That's a thing that happened. Alright, so the first time that he shouted, infantry advance, that meant first wave, that's already been predetermined, you guys go. Now when he shouts second wave, that's the next wave of infantry. And again, why are we attacking in waves when that first wave was, so thin? These are the French we're talking about. Oh, okay, now the artillery goes again. What? Did they do a volley of artillery based on the one guy's shout? We're only a minute in. Dear Lord, we're only a minute in. Yep, Napoleon covering his ears. Yeah, okay, great. Not like he's seen combat before. This is all very new to him. And of course, the Emperor is going to be standing right next to the artillery. Yeah, sure. Okay, so yeah, a single order was placed, and all of these artillery pieces, right? You can see they're all the way over there. All of them got the word at the same time. Boom! Like, do they have a radio? Their bugles must be really good for the sound to reach all the way across there, but evidently at the speed of light, because everyone heard the signal at the same time. All the guns go off at the same time. Also, so spread out. I just noticed the French encampment. We're right in front of the French camp. What? They established their lines. Okay, and then we're attacking in waves. Yeah, that's cool, whatever. I'm not going to go through, like, piece by piece and talk about how the Battle of Waterloo was actually fought, because the thing is it's been done by a million channels before. This, attacking in two long, narrow lines of infantry is so far removed from how any 18th century, early 19th century combat was being done that it would take out. Just, I have a lot of other videos where I talk about all these different things, but the method of attack makes no sense in any context. All right, they're still firing away. Now, the British are standing at their guns now. It seems like they're still not shooting them. They're just kind of like hiding behind the guns. We have these random infantrymen rushing forward. Where they're going, who knows? Also, it's infantrymen who are manning the artillery pieces? Yeah, in full packs, infantry? Why are there redcoats? The royal... See, these... Okay, this is good. These are royal artillerymen. They're manning the guns as they should. But then, like, half... Like, this guy's infantry. There's an infantryman. Like, they have the infantry, like, sprinkled in to man the artillery pieces. Okay. They just have a full-on trend. Oh, now they're all shooting. All right. Mustache, no. Just no. The drummers, they're sounding out nothing in particular. It sounds like they're doing like a kind of like a weird marching cadence, but if the command is just to, like, fire at will, because it seems like that's what they're doing, they're not firing by files, they're not firing by platoons, they're not firing by ranks, or any sort of ordered, disciplined firing. They're all just go get them to keep up a general fire. And the drummers are doing, like, it's not the drum call to reload, it's not a drum call to march, it's not a drum call to fire. They're just kind of going away, doing their thing with no reason in particular. See, like, these guys look pretty good. They actually... Oh, look! A set of King's colors! It actually has a regimental badge! It's the right kind of flag! Good job, guys! Alright. Oh! So that looks pretty good. That looked decent. Again, like, closing these ranks, bringing the men in tighter together, but, like, the effect was decent. Oh boy, we're gonna get another order. Are they gonna do the cavalry? What's that gonna be? Oh, that might just be for more artillery to fire, because for some reason, like, one of the gun captains is standing, again, right next to the Emperor, and, like, it's like, all of the artillery are just looking for that one guy's arm, like a spy. Oh wait, I have one. Hold on. All the artillerymen are waiting there like, no, not yet. And, okay, now! Like, you're 5 seconds late. I'm gonna get fired over this. It's like, what's going on here, people? Okay, random guy just waving a flag around. So yeah, some flags are being held by ensigns, as they should. Other flags, I just realized, are just kind of like hanging out somewhere. I wonder what caused that building to catch on fire. What do you mean, who are you talking to? Don't let them rally. What? Who's rallying? They're just walking at, what does that mean? Who are we relating that to? What is that? What's going on?
We have to act before Blucher arrives.
What have you been doing this whole time? Do you think Napoleon doesn't know that? What is that? Sir, by the way, there are Germans here. I never would have guessed. I never would have known. Here I thought we were here for tea. Here I thought we're attacking Wellington in this particular place because we want to get rid of him before Blucher shows up. That's the whole point of the Battle of Waterloo. That's what we're doing. Whatever. All right. He has piles. Are we going to see the piles? Oh yeah, he's not happy. He's having a bad. Well, he's not having a good time. He's sad. Dramatic Wellington. What's with this like line of horse guards just kind of vibing in the back, or dragoons or whatever they are? Okay, I haven't seen this bit yet. Hold on. Is this Marshal Ney's like iconic cavalry charge at the battle? he just Napoleon, we have to do something. Napoleon's like, I can't do anything. Okay, cool. And he's like, all right, boys, go get him. There's like no build up. There's no preparations. He hops on his horse. He walks up front. Is the entire cavalry charge going to be a single line? It looks like maybe they have 2 ranks over here. So 2 ranks and then 1 rank across the entire battlefield, just pew, going off to get them? Is that how they're going to play this? Oh, please tell me. Are the British going to form square? Are they going to have the actual British squares? Because this is going to be a real vibe.
Prepare to receive cavalry.
Prepare to receive what? Who are you talking to? Where's the aid? There's a battle going on. It should probably be a little bit more of he sounds like a villain there when he says that. Does that man have a mustache? Does that man have a mustache? That man needs to shave. That man as well needs to shave. So, all right, here's the thing. British Army in the 18th century, really Anglo society in general through like the entirety of the long 18th century, with the rare exception of like some Hussar regiments. If you are unshaven, that is a sign of more or less one of 2 things. You are insane or you are deeply impoverished. Whenever we see people portrayed in this time period with like actual facial hair purposeful growth, it is for one of those 2 reasons. It is to demonstrate that that person is a pauper, that they are infirm in some way, that they're in a really bad way, right? By showing this man with a dedicated mustache, it implies a grooming standard that doesn't exist. This man as well. Why is there a rifleman in with the... What? My guy, you lose your regiment? What? Anyways, by showing... And this man, for example, he doesn't have dedicated facial hair like the other one does, but he does have a lot of growth. And typically speaking, in the army, you'd expect men to be shaving every 3 days, typically, like twice a week or so. It depends on the time period, depends on the environment, depends on the regiment, depends on a lot of different things, but men with dedicated growth is exceptional. There's like one portrayal that I know of at all that portrays a soldier with like facial hair growth. It's from the Battle of Culloden, and it's only one of the soldiers who has like some 5 o'clock shadow. It is not ever dedicated facial hair, so every time you see one of these guys with like a mustache and everything, it's like very, very rare for this time period. It was starting to become more of a thing by the Napoleonic Wars, but even then, it's like it's really quite rare. I'm not sure if riflemen had the same grooming standards. They might have been allowed facial hair in some circumstances. They might not have in others. If anyone has more context, I would love to hear in the comment section down below. But speaking of riflemen, what are you doing here, bud? What? He lost his regiment. All right. And we're advancing. We're leaving. So we shouldn't have the trenches to start with. We should be behind a road on a hill. But okay, cool. And anyways, now we're going to leave the trenches that we have for... reason. Wait, the cavalry is charging. Oh, this is gonna be they're gonna form square. Okay, this actually looks... Don't get me started on the artillery. Again, all firing at once. Whoa, those Frenchmen got really close to their line. Look at that. They got really close. I didn't think that they got that close. This looks decent though. Look, the infantry is in a close, packed order. There's a heckin' lot of them, and they're at a decent, they're shoulder to shoulder. Like, hey, okay, so we are able to show that. Why didn't we do that for the Frenchmen? Who knows? So, The artillery, like, yeah, they should be firing over... That's a lot of dead Frenchmen, my god. The artillery should be firing over the heads of their boys, but, like, that's really close for that. Also, there's, like, no recoil on those guns. Hey, regimental colors again! Why are there two? Okay, there are two sets of regimental color. You have so many British flags you could have had stand in for King's colors. Just swap them out. Why? There's been such a dearth of regimental colors this whole time, and now we're gonna get 2 in 1 set. All right, cool.
We must not be beat.
Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? Okay. Cavalry just charging right through the infantry. None of these guys have bayonets fixed, by the by. This is actually like a decent shot right here. This looks pretty good, actually. If I just saw that screenshot and they said, oh yeah, this is gonna be a new Ridley Scott Napoleon movie, I'd be like, oh, okay, all right. That looks pretty interesting. I'm excited to see what they do with that. Look at all the cavalrymen that suddenly showed up. Whoa, all right. All right, so like, I guess the cavalrymen just magically multiply. They breed really quickly over in France and in Poland and whatnot, I guess. And I mentioned Poland as well because, yeah, we got like, I think right there, that might be one. We got a couple of Polish lancers mixed in there. We got, looks like there are some hussars mixed in with their busbies or whatever. We got a cuirassier, however you say that, cuirassier. We got the French heavy cavalry. I can never say the word properly. I'm not French, sue me. They're all mixed in there, all together. All right, boys, friendship is magic. We're all gonna be teamed up. We're gonna go get them. Meanwhile, the British infantry are going to abandon their defenses. The field is very clean here. All the dead Frenchmen right there, but I guess they weren't getting shot when they're over here. But again, 3 ranks, should probably be 2 ranks for British infantry. There's tightly packed, long formation, officer in front, color guard in the rear. Like, where was this for the French? That actually looks pretty, again, like this is a screenshot, not bad looking. Why did we have the French attacking these 2 long, little bitty wispy lines? Like, what's going on there? You have the technology to make them march in the proper formation. They're dressing their lines. They're forming square. Okay. Yeah. Okay, guys, you probably should have formed the square like a little bit before the cavalry was like right up on you. Also, they're in a single line again for some reason. They're changing their formation. Okay. That's pretty decent. Once again, a weird mixture of cavalry. Guys, you are still forming square by the time the cavalry is showing up. The scale here looks really weird. Is it just me, or like, do these humans look really tiny compared to these horses? Maybe that's just because I'm being like really overly critical. Look at the number of corpses over there. That's really weird. Also, what's going on with this French cavalry charge? Once again, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 is what I'm counting. Flags just thrown into the mix willy-nilly for no apparent reason because, oh, I guess they have flags, so we're gonna give them flags. Like, there's no actual function behind them, as there really, really should be. What is with this cavalry charge? Where are the formations? Where are the regiments? Who's following who? Who's listening to who? Was it just a gaggle and they're all like, hey, go get him? That is what they did. It was a gaggle and they said, go get him. Okay, British are still forming square by the time the cavalry show up. That looked pretty decent. Were it not for the fact that it's like every different kind of regiment under the sun all in one group, that looked pretty decent, that one shot. They're getting there. That looks pretty decent. They're getting there. Now they have their bayonets fixed. I guess we just didn't see that happen. Cool. All right. Oh, whoa. Hold on, my guy. How are you holding that mustache? My God. Okay. The cavalry are advancing. That's like however many hundreds of pounds of just meat and muscle and horse with a Frenchman armored saber right on top of him. Prepare to receive the cavalry. Gotta plant this musket in the ground. Brace myself for the strike should it ever come. This is gonna be the perfect hold on my musket this entire... Yeah. And then I'm gonna shoot like this because, of course, gun barrels don't get hot. They don't get literally scalding after a couple of rounds have been fired. Sir, you are a flank company NCO by the looks of it. What is that? What are you doing? Oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness. And you haven't shaved. You haven't shaved, guy. Come on. Phoenix, I feel the same way. What can I say? Is he gonna send the guard forward now? Well, alright, he's having a hard time. I hate the accents. Where are you going, bud? Where are you going? No, hold on now. Where are you going, bud? There's a lot of cavalry following you, bud. Where are you going? These squares are so tiny. They look good, though. Like, I feel like they're smaller than they should be, but, like, they actually look pretty decent. Colors in the center, nice and tightly packed. You can actually see why they're so dangerous for cavalry there. Like, that actually looks pretty good. Ooh, that was... Hold on, that was nice. I want to see that again. Ho, ho, ho! Oh, boy, look at you. God damn, look at that, boy. That's some pretty good stuff right there. That's some pretty good stuff right there. Okay, look, here's the thing. If you had just showed me, like, this sequence from, like, here forward, I'd be like, okay, all right, let's talk. Ridley Scott, got it going on. I know what you're doing here. But you see, like, some French infantry in the background there advancing. Like, this looks pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna have another infantry. Oh, hey, yeah, we got them in close order again. Good. The Emperor's with you. Okay, I mean, you're talking to, like, a couple of guys there. It's not really gonna have any sort of effect. Okay, cavalry failed. Wait, oh, okay, now they're waiting for the infantry to advance, I guess. Okay. Hey, okay, Sergeant, using his pike to make sure that the men are in a proper dressed line. I like that. That looks pretty good to look. Nice, long line, only one, looks like two, maybe three, four. Like, the colors are better spaced out. Okay, these guys, your haversacks are, like, way too far. If you put those a bit further back, you're gonna have a much easier time. Also, why are you carrying your haversacks with you in... Are you expecting to eat in the middle of a meal? The haversack is where you carry your rations. You really don't have to have that with you right now. But, okay, alright, we're gonna be firing in 3 ranks, which is not particularly... Oh, God. Wait, hold on, what are they shouting?
Infantry advance.
No one would have heard you, bud. Also, the artillery has just, like, stopped firing this whole time. The artillery is just gone here, but no one's gonna hear you, but these guys do. But battalion at the infantry? That? Alright, so now we have various, like, lower officers, copying, echoing the order, but how they were able to hear Napoleon, I don't know. What battalion are we ordering to advance? Where are they advancing to? So far, they are portraying the Battle of Waterloo as just this side, they go forward, they get pushed back. They go forward, they get pushed back. The British go forward, the French go forward. It's just back and forth, back and forth. Like, what? There's no maneuvering whatsoever taking place. Okay, so they actually do have, I guess it was meant to be light infantry at the beginning of the scene. It's like fair, I guess, if they were in a more loose order, kind of. Wow, they closed that range really quickly. They closed that range really quickly. No shot. Oh, there he goes! Napoleon, what's... It's so sad. They have the material means. They have the budget. They have the uniforms. They have the technology. That drummer getting just domed looks pretty good. Are they gonna have Napoleon charging in on the cavalry himself here? I knew that they did that. Like, I knew that they had Napoleon charging, like, in an earlier scene. I thought that was in a different battle. I thought that was, like, when he was young and, like, you know, sexy and courageous and leading from the front. Napoleon at Waterloo should not be charging in from... Hold on, why are we charging in with bayonets like that? Okay, the French are more or less keeping in ranks. These guys also... They're going to immediately abandon their formation. Whoa, there he goes, over the top. They completely abandon their formations. They all just go get them individually, independently. Was there bayonet did the two sides meet like that? And I'm pretty sure that's not a thing. In fact, I'm pretty sure that the big deal at Waterloo was that the old, like, or not the old guard, but was it the middle guard, the young guard, whatever, some regiments of the Imperial Guard advanced on the British line with the intention of meeting them in, like, you know, melee bayonet combat, and they couldn't do so. They failed to connect. That's what their problem was. Are they really gonna have Napoleon's, like, personal cavalry here slam into this massive melee? What's with these little fires? What started that, I wonder?
Cavalry advance, sir.
Cavalry advance.
They've removed any semblance of depth, any semblance of strategy and tactic, any semblance of complexity to any of... What is the job of a general in this universe? What is the job of an officer that is meant to be coordinating massive numbers of men across large-scale fields in a way that where information and communication and logistics are all so complicated? And it's... Sir, the cavalry is advancing. Should we do something? Yeah, do that. Okay, cool. What? Why are you here? What's going... Are the British gonna now advance in a single line as well? Again, like every regiment under the sun? Oh, loose, order. Okay, and also, like, the entire front there was taken up by infantry. Did they skip over the infantry? No, they're gonna go through the infantry because they opened up these convenient little... Oh my god, is he actually gonna meet in comp? Yep, there he goes! Alright, the Emperor in hand-to-hand! Why not? Yeah, he's suffering from piles, he's old, he's tired, doesn't matter. He's in there getting them with the best of them. What are you doing? Now the Prussians are arrived. Gee, you know, man, if only we had any semblance of, like, a chain of communication here, like a chain of command, maybe, wherein we could get orders across that other people showed up and we could maybe do something about that. Oh well. Now there's a real question for you. When the entire battle is being waged as go get 'em on either side, what happens when someone comes in from the left? You can't... How... Because if the regular orders are all advance, prepare, advance, what do you do about that? You have to, like, order your men to, like, turn in some way? I don't know, we're getting... That's a whole other video. That's a whole other topic. Oh my god. That's a whole other topic right there. We're gonna talk about him later on. That's something else. What's with the soundtrack as well? It's like some Eastern mystic sounding kind of religiosity. Whoa, alright, bodied. Pretty good. Oof, alright. So, like, we have the brutality, right? We have the... Alright, there he goes, run away. That poor horse doesn't look like it's having a very good time. Well, yeah, this soundtrack is so weird. It's like, are we fighting in Western Europe? They're able to spot each other across the whole field! What in the world is this supposed to be?
The battle is mine.
there will be an end to the war.
What a stupid... That's how we're gonna end it? That's how we're gonna end it? That's the ending line? The battle is mine. Like I said, there is no purpose, right? There's no point in going through the history of the Battle of Waterloo. There's no point in going through all of the complicated maneuvers and all the different units and other nationalities, but we didn't see any of them. It was all just British soldiers. There's no use in going through all of the stuff that actually happened, right? Because, again, it's been done. You can find a lot of other unit channels about that. It's so far removed from the reality of what happened that it would be like trying to provide a historical analysis of like a drunk history clip, right? Like, oh, well, here's every little itty bitty thing that they get wrong because it's so wrong. I think there's another like little rifleman just thrown into the mix of the square there. It's so hilariously, stupidly wrong that I mean, it's like if someone said to me, "Oh, this little miniature right here, this is a Roman centurion from 250, from the year 250." How do I even begin to explain how no, this is not actually a Roman imperial soldier? This is something. It's like it's you can't, right? You have to go from the molecular level and work from there. It's a futile cause. It's crazy as well because like the thing is there are certain things in it that there are little glimmers of like something good, of like, oh, that little sequence right there looked pretty solid. And it's surrounded by so much utter trash. You don't even see, there aren't even farmhouses on this battlefield. They like, I guess maybe that over there is meant to be Hougoumont. One of the most like exciting, interesting, versatile, dynamic parts of the battle, and we're just gonna completely ignore it. It's just two masses of infantry mashing each other across the field. It's insulting, it's ridiculous, it's stupid, it's silly, it doesn't really look good, right? Like there are films that have done this battle so much more justice. It's kind of wild that so many people got together, did this, and thought, this looks good. Yeah, this is the final cut. This is but hey, you know what? At the end of the day, I wasn't there, so what do I know? Knowledge, facts, history, irrelevant little conveniences. It's impossible to really know anything, I guess. Welcome to the modern world. My name is Brandon Fischella. This has been a great time. I hope you've enjoyed Corpse War 1793. I wrote a book about zombies in the 18th century. It's written from the perspective of a soldier during the campaign to fight back against the undead horde. It's way more historically accurate than whatever this is meant to be, so check it out on Amazon, and of course at nativeoak.org. You usually find better prices there. What else is there? Thank you very much to everyone for watching. Thank you to the supporters on Patreon. None of my work would be possible without all of you fine folks. Sometimes I wish that I drank, but I don't. So, until the next time, my dear viewer, I am and I shall remain your most humble and obedient of servants. Goodness me.